How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Secret Gardens with us tonight. He can say his name, what he does, and all that sort of stuff.
What's up? My name is Greg. I make music right now under the moniker Secret Gardens. I was in a band called Vista. I'm in another band called Here's to You, and I produce people on the side.
Look at you,
I'm
man
an
of
audio
many talents.
engineer. I like to make music of all. I don't know. I wear a lot of different musical hats, I guess.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
over the years, at least I have.
Over the years, for sure. Well,
But
obviously, most people that are familiar with this channel know that we did an interview a while ago, a couple years ago. We were talking about it off camera of how long ago it's been since we've talked, and I think we decided it was about 2 years. So obviously, I saw that you had been posting a lot of stuff with Secret Gardens, and I was just like, and I saw you comment on shouts to our homie Maggie. You commented on her thing. And I was like, I gotta hit Greg up. I was like, I don't know why I just didn't beforehand, but I was like, it was just a sign, a sign that was
shout
just
out
like, hit Greg up.
Yeah, shout outs to Maggie Schneider. She's incredible. She sounds great all the time. She kills it. But yeah, it's thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. I love talking and chatting with people. Like, if I could do a podcast a day with like person X, person Y, like I totally
You can do it.
I'm always up for like a deep, enthralling conversation. That's just, I don't know, that's just part of who I am, really. Like, and the people I surround myself with, and like the people I hang out with on a daily or weekly basis, whatever. Like, they're all people I can have like just good conversations with. Because if you don't have that, I feel like everything else is lost.
Oh, 100%. You gotta have the good conversation, and I think like I said, I feel like tonight's gonna be good because I know Greg's got the sauce. So I know he's gonna bring some heat tonight. But I have to ask, obviously, Vista, unfortunately, I don't know if they're on hiatus or something like that. You could obviously speak on that if you'd like. But what was the process of coming in with like Secret Gardens? Because I feel like for me, as like, obviously a fan of what you do, I was like, it kind of came out of nowhere for me. And I was just like, how long ago of a thought process was it like I need to do Secret Gardens, like I need to have like, because I know you got the shred, I know you got you got the guitar vibes. So I was like when is Greg gonna do his own, like, not because I don't know, no disrespect to Hope, but I was like when is Greg gonna hit me with that instrumental, or like, that clean guitar, the guitar stuff. Oh, Greg, I think your your volume completely went. I don't know what happened. It's completely gone. I cannot hear you whatsoever now. It's all gone. Nothing. Zero. Zilcho. Nothing. Do you want me to redial you? Yeah? Thumbs up? Okay, you got it, bud. Okay.
Hello.
There we go. That's I don't know what happened, dude. You just like sat there, and I was like, oh man, he's been pretty quiet. I'm like, it's
What?
okay. I was like, I'll rock with it. I was like,
So you
I'll
still
rock
hear
with
me?
it. I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you
Cool.
know if it changes. But anyway, you heard I'll cut that bit out, and we'll
Yeah.
rewind.
Still,
We'll
whatever.
rewind. But
Yeah.
so
So
how did obviously, like, I was talking about, like, I've had you on with Vista, and then I guess, how did you come with the thought process of doing Secret Garden? Was it something that you've always had in the works that you've wanted to do and you just haven't had the opportunity to because you've had Vista, or was it just like a happy accident of what things that have kind of transpired now, or did you feel like it was maybe the next step for you, after what's going on with Vista currently?
right. So you're saying something about me having the sauce?
Yeah, you have the sauce, my dude. You got. I feel like we're gonna have a good conversation. You know what I mean? I can feel the vibes.
Well, thank you. But you're saying you thought like I'm just trying to correct trying to get the record correctly what you were saying
Sure.
before. You were like, oh, when's Greg gonna hit us with X, Y, and Z? And you had that thought before Vista was on hiatus.
Yeah, I was like, because I had seen you play guitar. Obviously, Greg lives in I mean, he played a show in New Jersey, and I had seen him. And obviously, the interview we had done in person, I was like, in my head when I was watching you, and I was like, I've seen some of your guitar like stuff on like Instagram and all that
Mhm.
sort of stuff. And I was just like, I was like, when's Greg gonna do some guitar stuff? Because obviously you got some good shred stuff like on Vista stuff, but I was like, I was like, when is I was like, I don't know. I get this like sixth sense about artists sometimes where I'm like, maybe he's trying to do his solo shit. I don't know.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Again, no disrespect to Hope. I love her too. Hope, if you want to come on, feel free to.
No, yeah, no, she's great and she's super talented and always will be. But yeah, well, I appreciate that sixth sense, I guess. Uh, I don't know. I've always been a dude who has like a million different genres of music playing in his head.
Sure.
If that makes sense. It really doesn't, but
It was close enough.
I listen to so many different types of music that like I I it's not that I can't commit. I can commit, and I did commit for a long time to Vista, and I've been in that band Here's to You with my friends from high school since like 2009, so a long time. And I just like having the ability of like, oh, I have a song idea that isn't this or this or this. I can put it to something else. I can do something.
Yeah. You don't want to throw it out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like throwing stuff out if it's a good example of whatever genre it's in. Like, so let's say tomorrow I make a pop track and it sounds like a Carly Rae Jepsen song. Like, I want to find an outlet for that. Whether I like have someone use the song and then I have writing credit, or I sell it, or like whatever. Or say I start some other project. I'm not looking to do that right now, obviously. But
sure.
So eventually, a lot of people would call Secret Gardens post rock.
Okay.
That's like loosely the genre that
you
would say it is, and it's instrumental. It has these long, slow builds. It like can get really like epic sometimes. Yeah. I hate the word epic, but like
But that works. No, it works. It works with your stuff because I've checked it out. I know.
Like I feel like people just say epic, like back in the day, it like lost its meaning. So, yeah, I started really becoming a huge fan of that type of music when my friend showed me like one of the first like post rock records I ever really heard, and I was like, this is fucking sick. Like, I eventually started thinking like, what would it take to make a song like that? Like what physically and literally what would it require, and like am I capable of doing it? Like, so I've been playing drums almost as long as I've been playing guitar.
Oh wow.
But I don't have so I own a drum set. It's at my brother's house when I want to go play. But I have like sticks in my room, and I try to keep up with my chops like every now and then. But the drums for me is like an instrument that's mostly just fucking fun. Like, I go play drums when I want to have fun doing something. And it's actually a lot of physical work, and my right wrist actually isn't the best. I think I injured it somehow when I was a kid. But, when I drum for a while, my right wrist starts killing me. And it might be something I could start working through, but I don't know. I'm detracting from the point. So basically, for like shows constantly, I stuck to playing guitar because it didn't make my wrist feel terrible. But I seriously like have such a love affair with playing drums. So, and then bass and piano I like learn here and there, and like I know how to sing, but I don't feel like I'm where I want to be as a vocalist yet.
Fair enough, yeah.
But yeah, so like I started to examine the parts of these songs, and I'm sure you're familiar with Tides of Man, the band that Tillian in before Tillian left to be in Dance Gavin Dance.
Correct.
But when Tillian left, they became a post-rock band.
Correct.
And those records like changed my fucking life. Those records are so good. But then I started getting more into that genre, like Caspian and stuff.
Yeah.
That band is I just listened to their most recent record today. It's so rad. And then just like in the past like 4 years, I've been starting to dive more into like what are the essential post rock like
Yeah,
records,
yeah,
like
yeah.
listening to like This Will Destroy You, you know, stuff like that, instrumental shit that. And I've been into instrumental shit, but like more on the prog side.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the past like 7 to yeah, like the past like 7-ish years, I've really been into like Chon and Pliny and other instrumental shit like that. I always knew who like Explosions in the Sky was, but I never really started listening until like someone was like until I heard more post rock stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that shit like that was cool, and because I feel like am not fully realized as a vocalist and like haven't found my 100% like fit and where I do the best, like I found some areas of it, but I don't know, that part of like my musicality sort of influenced my desire to kind of make like entire paintings and pictures and scenes without words, I guess.
Yeah.
But I actually think that there's a lot more like power to it sometimes. Like it's not always that way. Like I still, just like anyone else, hear a powerful ass song with powerful lyrics that's inspiring or really somber and like
Hmm.
hurt me like in the best way.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when I listen to Now, like
Oh
that destroys me in the best way. I love, love, love that band, and I always have, and I always will. Like, that's a perfect example of like music plus lyrics plus the tone of voice. Like that girl Casey who's in that band is absolutely, she's incredible, and her voice is the perfect fit for that kind of music, and it's just such a perfect package. Like, I want whatever I do, if my voice like to fit that well, if I decided to like sing over a Secret Gardens track or whatever.
sure.
um and something I've always experimented, or like not always, but more recently, something I've been experimenting with is collaborating and stuff,
Hmm.
and if other, I have like an awesome network over the years, like that I've met playing with Vista and stuff. Like, so I've met some really talented people, so I kind of might want to see if I can collaborate with some people on the next Secret Gardens record. But yeah, I kind of took a huge tangent, but anyway,
That's all good,
uh,
dude. That's what we're
so
about here.
I remember being on the Oasis tour, which was 2017 or 18. No, I think it was 2017. It was like later in the year. And I just remember having this thought, like in the shower, like when we were staying at someone's house in like Ohio or something. And like, I was like, I could make a record like that. Like, why don't I make a record? Like, I could do that.
Yeah. What's stopping you? Yeah.
I was like, yeah, what's stopping me? Like, I can make a fucking record like that. I've always wanted to. Or I wonder what it would sound like if I made a record like that. So eventually Secret Garden started to be like, okay, this idea doesn't fit Vista. This idea doesn't fit Here's to You, but it could be something cool if it's like expanded upon and drawn out and was instrumental. So the first like real idea for the project came, it all seemed to make a lot more sense when I took this trip to Acadia National Park in 2018.
Okay.
Because I always grew up being such like a nature boy, I guess. Like my parents had this like campsite and camper on like a campground we would go
Sure.
to like
Yeah.
twice a month. Like we would go fairly often. And I was just like exposed to I just had the nature thing from such a young age.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
learn how to build a fire, and like I would run around and explore with my friends, and I would like just like find deer in the wild and watch them and like be like, ooh, like, I don't know. I like saw a bear, like, because I live fairly close to upstate. I mean, Long Island is just, you shoot over a bridge and you're upstate, and like a few hours upstate it's like there's bears out there.
It's just woods. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just woods and like serene peace and quiet, and it's, I don't know, I I did not appreciate it when I was young. I appreciated it, but now I like, it has a whole new meaning to me, being and
Sure.
stuff like that, like hiking and just being in a trail and just being like completely immersed in just nature. But now I've started, I don't know, I kind of started taking that on a broader scale. So to backtrack, like going to Acadia, I brought a guitar with me and I went with my girlfriend at the time, and like we stayed in an Airbnb on this property that was like it was like an RV on someone else's property, but that
Oh,
property was a farm.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
was like we were in the middle of nowhere in this RV, and like I brought my guitar and I was just playing a few days, like one random day we were there, and like the first track of the EP that I put out was like the first riff I played, and I was like,
Oh,
okay,
that's sick.
that I was like, okay, this is like memorable. Like I should like voice memo this now and just expand.
Yeah, you should remember it. Yeah.
And a lot of other cool stuff happened on that trip. Like I guess not, it wasn't cool in the moment, but the second track, Electrical Storm, is literally like the soundtrack to a moment where I thought my life was ending. Which is fucking crazy because like the RV we stayed at was in the mountains, and it was just like a tin can, and there was the craziest thunderstorm I've ever been at in my life. I've been in my life. So that was like fucking nuts to sit through. I thought I was gonna die. It was at like 3 a.m. and it was just pure unending terror. Um, but like nature is like that though. Like
Yeah.
it's beautiful and then it's just fucking terrifying and it's just all powerful. So basically, Secret Garden started to be like, I don't know, it started to be like therapy for me, but through the medium of like
Nature.
nature,
Yeah.
traveling and exploring, if that makes sense. That's like the main thing that's inspired it. And it still is like the main thing that has inspired it. Because I realized it can, like my feelings can come in many different forms and be invoked by many different types of things that the world and like Earth can show me.
Hmm.
I just went to the desert for the first time in February. Like I've never been to that part of the world before, like
Yeah.
at all, in any desert ever, and I was just like, wow, this is fucking crazy. Like this is inspiring in its own right, and yeah, just stuff like that I've found to be the main inspiration of why the project exists and is still something I'm keeping going with. Like it started out as an experiment and people seemed to really resonate with it and it got good reaction, so I was like, let me keep tapping into this because I still feel inspired with it. So now so the first EP got released in August of 2019 and now I just finished mixing the second release, which is actually an album. Well, here I have a counter question for you.
Sure.
8 tracks in 45 minutes. Is that an EP or an album?
Oh, that's tough. Um, that's I don't know. It's so divisive too.
I know.
I would probably say it's more of an LP for me because like anything, I don't know. I'd say anything in that 45 realm is definitely album because there's even albums that are like 45 minutes long and they're like 11 or 10 tracks or whatever, you
Yeah.
know? So I think it's very divisive. I think it's more on the point of whatever the artist chooses. I will just go with whatever. Like, I'll just say it's a long form EP or if it's like, you know, a shorter LP or whatever. Like, I'll
Yeah.
elaborate on that, but that's not, I don't feel like that is, I don't feel like that's a make or break thing for me to be like, I don't know if I'm gonna listen to it because it's like 8 tracks and it's 45 minutes. Like I'm still gonna listen to it. That's still awesome, you know?
Yeah. I intended for it to be an EP because I thought well, the I'll explain this concept in a second, but I wanted to do like a series of EPs with
Yeah.
it, and I just started writing more because I didn't feel like I was done with this body of work yet. So it ended up being like 8 tracks in 45 minutes. So talking about it to people, I don't want it. I don't want it to be the wrong characterization of whatever it is. Like, I want to call it the right thing, but I don't know. I guess I would call it an LP at this point.
It's I would say if I had to put my stamp on it, I'd say it's an LP for sure. But
Okay. All
some
right.
people
Well,
might be divisive about that. So
well,
why don't you? We'll pose it to the comments. People who are watching this, people who like Secret Gardens, let Greg know in the comments if it's an LP or an EP, and I'm sure
Yeah.
he'll let you know.
Um, so anyway, I feel like I touched on a million different things,
It's
but
okay.
The first EP is very summer inspired. And the name of it is Verão, which is the Portuguese word for summer. And
Ah,
I've been working towards a different season and conveying how those have felt to me, and just like my experiences the past. I started writing it in November or
nice.
December, and I just got finished mixing it like last week. So I've been writing and rewriting and redoing parts, and I've been recording it all here in my room, like, and just making stuff sound the best I can. And now I'm sending it off to master, um, which is great timing because I'm about to go on vacation on Monday. So
So there you go.
yeah.
But
Anyway,
that's
I'm talking
but
for. So what's up?
no, it's all good. In fact, I like when people kind of give a little bit more information behind it, because, not to say people are like hidden behind doors or whatever, but I feel
Mm.
like people that I've had on have kind of been a little bit reserved on the type of back information that they give on like songs and stuff. I think as being an interviewer for such a long time, I really appreciate when artists are able to kind of be like, oh, well, like, this is why this is what inspires me to write this, and these are like, here are some of the events in my life that I feel like made these songs important to me as an artist, and why I continue to write music. Because like, otherwise it's like, why the hell would you be writing music if there wasn't anything to inspire you to do it? So I just want to say I appreciate it, and definitely I know we talked a little bit about like influences and stuff, and I feel like from the EP that I've heard so far, like, because I try to do my homework when I have guests on, but like, I was listening through to the EP, and I was like, yeah, this feels kind of like the baby of like the Tides of Man, like Young and Courageous slash like Every Nothing, which
Those
I
records so much.
they're both fantastic. I have yet to get the Young and Courageous vinyl, but I do have the Every Nothing, and I did buy that one, so I'm very
I had it up here, but
well.
I'm
You're
moving.
moving, so
Yeah, if I still had it up here where I
you
have all
pull
my.
it off.
Yeah, but I'm moving, so I moved all my vinyls.
Oh man. Well, I have that Every Nothing, and I love playing that. Like, if I'm making dinner, I'll like play that in my Bluetooth speaker and just
Yeah.
like jam out to that. But
So it's super rad because I don't know if you saw, but me and Spencer, who's in Tides of Man, just worked on a track together.
correct.
Yeah, and we just put that out, and yeah, that was super awesome because Spencer's like a super homie, and shout outs to Spencer for working with me to remix a track of mine. It sounds awesome. I love it. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's interested, they can go beat that at because that's out now on
Yeah,
Spotify.
Spencer's tight. I've had Tides of Man on, and that was to me a big goal to have them on, because
Oh, that's
I
rad. That's
I love both like Tillian era Tides of Man, and I love their like
me
instrumental.
too.
And I feel like people are a little bit divisive about that too, because they're like, nah, Dreamhouse is the best. And like,
Yeah,
listen, I have Dreamhouse on vinyl, and I have Every Nothing on vinyl. I mean, if
yeah,
that doesn't speak to the culture
they're
of Tides of Man, you know?
yeah, they're both great.
Yeah,
DGD's like it's all just good music,
yeah,
and I don't know. I don't see a reason to be like, oh fuck them. Like it's
it's
everyone's
music.
awesome.
Yes. But you did touch on something that I have not asked anybody else on these interviews, which kind of goes more in depth on your whole the nature aspect of what you pull from in your music. Is
Hmm.
there one place that you would want to visit that you have in your mind that would like inspire a future
Oh,
like record?
fuck. Sucks, dude. I've seen a lot of cool stuff, but there's still so much cool shit that I could see. I would really.
Why don't you do the top three? Because I feel like that would be interesting.
I'd be super inspired. I don't know why I'm yawning. I feel like super inspired by going to Japan.
Oof, you're right.
For sure. For sure, Japan. A lot of like the older parts of Europe that have like the older vibes to them and like the castles and shit. Like, I'd love to see that. That even like bleeds into Russia, I guess. And I feel like India might be super inspiring, or like just the Middle East, like that culture and just being in that kind of climate, or Africa. I don't know. I really want to go to South Africa one day for sure. Um, there's so much cool shit, and I'm not naming places I've been to already, obviously, but like I've been to Alaska, and that was one of the most
Oh,
inspiring
that's
places.
awesome.
I've been to Australia. I spent a month. That was like that was one of the best things I've ever done because it was super inspiring. But yeah, no, that I haven't been to, probably like Japan, like Europe, like older Europe,
Yeah, yeah.
Eastern Europe, I don't know, or even parts of the UK, and then maybe like the Middle East or India, Africa, stuff like that.
There we go. We'll have to get you some sort of travel sponsorship or something.
Yep. I got a Delta credit card to specifically
Woo!
start, raking up some flight miles.
Hell yeah, man. Well, good luck, man. That's, I mean, I don't, I mean, to me, I don't think I've heard of somebody like just like specifically having the thought of like, let me go through nature and like, let me try to like write a record that's gonna inspire my time like in that certain area of the
Oh,
world.
dude, the coolest thing happened to me the other day. I just forgot about this until now. It's cut off for the next record cycle, but maybe on the next record, I start writing for that. I was in this park, like whatever, hiking trail in like this state park upstate a few weeks ago, or maybe a
Mm.
week or two ago, and it was starting to be like sort of near dusk. Um, and the night creatures were out, and I look up and I see like a big flying fucking thing, and I'm like, oh, that's a hawk, that's cool. But I like, it stops on a branch and it turns around and it's got like a rounded head. I'm like, oh, that's a fucking owl. So I've never seen like an owl like in the wild before.
Mm-hmm.
But me and this owl, like two friends were with me, or no, three friends were with me, but we were all dead quiet because I was like, God, like,
It's right
so
there. Yeah.
me and this owl were just locking eyes and staring into each other. But it wasn't in like a creepy "I'm gonna kill you" way. It was just like I was trying to understand like what it was saying to me and like what it's like seen. I don't know if that sounds like I'm on drugs or whatever, but I was like, I always try to connect with animals and stuff like that. Like it was just cool to look in an owl's eyes and see like it was just a wild owl and top trees like later in the evening, like getting ready to, I guess, hunt for the night or whatever. And I was doing like the coo calls, and it was like actually calling back to me. It was like communicating with me. That was it's like sort of on video, but like I only caught it like after the fact, or my friend only caught it after the fact. But it was so cool. So like, for example, like I think I want to try to write a song as to what that sounded like staring into its eyes one day.
Maybe.
Uh, but yeah, that was like a sidetrack story. But I thought that was so freaking cool.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's like I said, it's cool that the kind of nature aspect bleeds into like the music and like how you're choosing to, forge that sort of path. Because I like, to me, and it's not even just because you're on here, and I know I feel like I say that a lot when I have artists on here, but like, I genuinely feel like when I'm listening to like people's stuff, it's like really interesting to me to see like how people put in that time and put in that work, like when it's in relation to like something that they're passionate about that maybe isn't music related per se, and then they kind of utilize those sorts of aspects of like nature or like some like personal things that they've gone through or whatever, or some sort of utilization of that into channeling into their music. I think that's just
Yeah,
really awesome.
it's all very personal still, and I don't know how to explain this the best way, but it's like therapy through the like it's like therapy and my own feelings put through the straw of like nature, and then out the other end it comes to be music. I don't know if that makes sense. Like the medium is nature and stuff, and like how my feelings and situations I've been in feel like
Yeah.
they sound. It's a mixture of that. Like it's either one or the other, or it's just how this beautiful day or inspiring thing I saw in nature sounds. Like so the next record I'm working on has a much darker and somber overtone, just because I've been through some pretty fucked up shit this past year. Like 2019 was really terrible for me, but I took my experiences from it, found a medium to channel it through, and I think I got it through correctly. Um, and now I feel much better having done that, and I'm very glad and like thankful for my own ability to do it, I guess, or be able to convey it or get it out. I saw what some people like paint and stuff, or
Yeah.
different art hobbies and ways to get their emotions out. But I feel like if I didn't write this record I just wrote it, like I would have died, or like I would have
Oh
just gone
shit.
like literally insane. I don't know, but I'm happy it's out of my system, and I'm happy I can have something to listen to like, I don't know, uh, as like a monument to it, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. Like you gotta. I feel like when when there's records that like have, I don't know. I guess it would be kind of like a personal demon. Like you want to be able to,
Yeah,
you want to be able to put that shit on a trophy shelf and to be like, look, I conquered this shit. Like we're
yeah,
not doing it anymore. We're moving past it. We're better than that. And I think that's impressive. It's sometimes I feel like it's hard. I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard, especially I guess in the alternative music scene. I feel like a lot more artists are a little bit more willing to put their feelings out on the line, and that is a good 99% why I love like heavier, more like alternatives type of music is because they're able to just be
mhm,
like, it's not just like, oh well, a pop star and let me write like this like million plus hit song even though I don't like believe any of it. Like I just
yeah,
feel like it's just conveyed so much better. And that's not just against pop music, because pop music's fun and you should have a good time listening to it. But I
yeah,
think when you listen to something that's just a little bit more like alternative or something like that, there's just a little bit more like presence behind it. Like there's
yeah,
like shit you talk about that you wouldn't necessarily hear like Justin Bieber talk about or like
for
anybody
sure.
else talk about.
Yeah, it's always been about depth for me. I mean, yeah, I mean even that was Vista's MO too. Like we talked about some uncomfortable shit.
Yeah.
Like the song we put out about Hope's eating disorder. Like I thought that was a great thing that we did, and I'm happy we like shed some light on that. Um, that was really cool to do. But yeah, I've always tried to get more in touch with like and not filter like um uncomfortable stuff versus fun stuff like falling
Yeah.
in love that I can talk about. Like, I want to be able to equally talk about both of it. Um, and yeah, no, I agree with that sentiment that sometimes pop music can stray away from stuff unless it has like a nice little bow you could like a way to sell it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not like a cutely nice presented topic, you know, sometimes it doesn't fly. But to pop music's credit in that industry, I think people have been a lot better talking about like mental health and stuff like
Oh, 100%. It wasn't necessarily a
that.
dig.
Talk about way more stuff than like I love you, you're so cute, I'm falling for you. Like it's getting more deep now.
Personable. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's rad actually.
Yeah, I hope that, like I said, this wasn't a complete diss. Like, I hope that pop music, I hope people are able to convey how they feel about stuff, because it gives you a way to connect with your audience, like the people you're talking with. Like, that's the best part. But, um, obviously, Greg, because you do more instrumental style music, do you find it harder because you were in more so like a pop band? Do you find it easier to convey like stronger, like I wouldn't even say strong, darker like emotions, but are you able to convey like emotions a little bit better through Secret Gardens now, or do you feel like maybe it was a little bit easier with Vista because you have the voice, you like Hope was singing, you have vocals, you have lyrics, that has
Right.
that sort of power behind it too.
Well, if you're just talking about my feelings, Secret Gardens is definitely easier. Because when you're in a band, it's like a democracy, and you're all
Sure.
working
Yeah.
all. And something that Hope was pretty much had the reins on the whole time was her lyricism and like what she talked about. And
Sure.
that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
awesome. And I never tried to like detract from it at all because I like had respect for what she wanted to communicate.
Sure.
And it was like super personable for her, and like that was where she found a lot of her own like heart in the lyrics in our music and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, with Vista, it wasn't really. like I would throw suggestions here and there, but it never was like this is my story.
Yeah,
Like it was
yeah,
like my sonic story, and I would try to paint and accompany the best I could. But with Secret Gardens, it's like there's a title, and then there's some stuff that you could think sounds sad or sounds happy. But I kind of like how the title is like a little inkling of what this could the song be about,
yeah.
what kind of message is being conveyed. But I also like how a great deal of it is um like up to the listener to like paint. It's like a bit more of a guideline, but you can still paint your own canvas, if that
Yeah.
makes.
Yeah, I think you're a little bit. I feel like instrumental music, like you're a little bit more in control of like how you choose to represent it. It's like, okay, like this is a sick background, like you have this sick background here, and you're like, and instrumental music is like, here's your listening thing, your listening apparatus, whatever, and then like you can like write all over it or whatever. I feel like that to me is how like when I listen to instrumental music is like how like how am I supposed to feel in this certain song, and then what were they trying to kind of evoke from this sort of song. I feel like that's the powerful thing about like instrumental music in general, is
Yes,
that you
for
kind of
sure.
choose your own way of like understanding it. And while the artist originally might have a complete, maybe not completely different, but a different
Mm.
intention for the song, I think it allows the listener to interpret it how they want to.
Yeah, it's cool because like yeah, I have my own story that I'm putting in there and my
Sure.
own things that caused like this note or that note or this part,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. It's like I'm not actually saying it, which is cool because sometimes I feel like words can like in certain situations they can color the song too much, and it's like, oh, now I'm only going to listen to this song when I want to think or like hear about this one specific topic or situation. um like,
Yeah.
or or if you're not in the mood to listen to that song because the lyrics are too sad or the lyrics are too happy for your mood, or like it doesn't match with wherever you are at the
Sure.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes that can turn me, at least as a listener, off from listening to something with words because it's just not matched to where I am at the time. But when it is, it's great because it's like, oh yeah, that song's talking about exactly something I'm going through, and
Right
yeah,
now. Yeah.
but sometimes I feel like the instrumental stuff is has more of a broader purpose to me as a listener. For some people, it might be boring and they don't necessarily care because there's no words. They're used to hearing music with lyrics their whole life. But also, that's to say, like, to my own credit, like, I'm not gonna never put vocals on a Secret Garden song. Like,
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
on stuff with vocals in it. Whether it makes the cut, I don't know. Whether it's my voice or someone else's voice, I'm not really gonna like say yet
Yeah.
because I have everything ironed out 100% yet. But like, if a song, basically the fact of the matter is like, if a song fits and the vocals fit even better, like there's nothing like I have no rules telling me to not ever put vocals on the song. Like the most recent Caspian record, like it's mostly instrumental, but there's two tracks with like pretty prominent vocals the whole song, and like
Yeah.
it makes the song great. So if it comes to be like a thing where it makes the song great in whatever capacity, like vocals are definitely not out of the question.
It's
Whether it's
a
fine
it
or not, sure.
Yeah, I think it just like amplifies the song. Like I was listening to the most recent Covet record, and
Oh,
she has two songs that have clean vocals on it. And I love her clean vocals, I love Yvette, um but
I think
like
she is a total heartthrob. Like she's great. Like
yes, she is lovely,
super
lovely
great.
people.
Yeah, like literally like super talented, super funny. Like she's just, oh
The,
my god, oh, like how are you so freaking like, I don't even know.
oh,
I don't know.
100%. She's the
But
best. But obviously, Greg, you kind of talked about, obviously working with Spencer. But what would be one other person you'd want to collaborate with under Secret Guardians per se? Like, who would be one person you'd want to like work on a track with?
there's so many ways that could go. Um, I've always wanted to I've always wanted to work with Carly Rae Jepsen just because I love her voice so much and I love her. I feel like she's like such an inspiring, like good natured person. But like, I don't know. There's so many cool singers I would want to work with just to hear what they would sound like on a post rock track or something, or like a sort of a track that I would make. Um, who else? Like, I'm trying to not only think of vocalists, but like other instrumentalists. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Will Swan's like a genius. He's super cool.
Yeah.
His like harebrained guitar parts and like that kind of stuff's always been inspiring. Um, Gee, I don't know actually. That's a good question and it's something I should think about for more. But like I don't know, any of the voices of like the scene today that are just so good, like I would love to write a song with someone who just has like that definable, distinct voice. Like I almost want Secret Gardens to be like the snarky puppy of
Oh,
like
snarky puppy though.
but like
Whew.
concepts, but apply it to whatever genre of music I am, because Secret Gardens isn't like a funk jazz.
True,
Like
you're right. Okay.
that's not what it's known for, at least not now. But like that concept though of being like a few couple people,
To
or
collaborate with. Yeah.
even Wolfpack, like a few couple people in like the circle, or if it's just me like writing all the shit, and then I work with collaborators here and there, and then there's like a different track, and then this vocalist comes on here, and that person comes. Like I love that. Like I think that concept is super cool.
Yeah.
And it's very applicable and whatever, and it doesn't tie me down too much. Not that I don't like being tied down, because like I was in a super serious band, or at least to me it was super serious, like
Yeah.
for a long time, and was working at shit every day, and like that was all beautiful and well and good, and like that's just what you do if you want to work with someone else. Like you just have to commit and hunker down. But this, it's like I could work on it whenever I want, and I could work on it really hard or not work on it at all, and take time to recharge, and there's no one else like to really answer to, which is cool.
Yeah.
And if I want to collaborate with this person, I'm anyone else. Like it doesn't have to do with what am I trying to say? Sorry. If I want to collaborate or do any big decisions or work with this person, work with that person, it's all up to me. It's not really up to anyone else, which is cool.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. I feel like if I had to throw my hat in a ring, who would I want? Who do I think would be interesting?
Yeah, you make music too, and you play.
Oh yes, I do actually.
You're not in a band right now, are you?
I am in no band right now. Fun fact, and I think I've said it in a couple different interviews, but all of the intro stuff that you see on the channel has all been written by moi.
Oh, that's right.
So I try to keep it all in house when I've been doing the channel. But
Yeah.
I would say for vocals, like if I had to pick a vocalist for our Secret Gardens collab,
Oh, dude, yeah.
I think I would go with, oh man, that's so tough. I'd be interested to see how Jesse Cash would work from Era. I think that would be pretty interesting.
I've seen them play before. They're cool.
I think because I know he has more of a like post-hardcore project called Ghost Atlas, and he does like he's got a voice you can pick out for sure. Like if you were listening to a track and you heard him feature, like I feel like his voice is pretty discernible, and he's kind of got the range. Like he's got the lower range, but then he's got that real like high like head voice, but
Yeah.
not so high that he's like Tillian high,
Yeah. You know who was really good, but I haven't kept up with like at all. I don't know what they're doing. Do you remember Shaley, who used to be in Of Mice and Men?
Oh,
right?
he's in Dayshell, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with Dayshell at all, but like his voice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that'd be like a sick vocalist to work with. I don't really know. There's like a bunch of really good vocalists. Yeah, I mean,
There we go.
if it comes to down to it, and I just happen to cross paths with one, like fuck it, let's
Just
sit in
do
the
it.
room, write a track. I always want to be writing. I don't care what it's for. Like I love sitting in a room with different people, different situations, and trying to create something. I think that's fun. Um, but yeah, no, but essentially, like this project is my own little like therapy circle, like, and I use it to get my emotions out and get stuff out. But sometimes it's like I can do that while also working with another person if I feel like it's something that can be opened up in that way. So yeah, I mean, it's I don't know if I've like explained every dimension of what the project is, but it feels super fun to do right now.
There you go. Well, I think that's the most important thing. You know, when I think when an artist comes on here and they're just like, I don't even really know what I want to do, but I know that regardless of what I'm doing, I'm just gonna have fun and I'm just gonna go for it. I think that's just a tight mentality to have because it's like, I know especially now, just being in quarantine and stuff. Like, I feel like the burnout for bands and stuff has become pretty high because we don't know what's gonna happen in the next couple months. So I think it's
Yeah.
really tough. But I think it's important. I see music out there, and I think it's just been important to just see music, even if it is just like, oh, I'm in this studio, or I'm just like practicing my guitar at home, or I'm just practicing piano at home, or I'm just practicing singing at home or whatever. I think it's a therapy that I think a lot of people maybe may not or may overlook. Like, they're just like, oh, I feel like shit. Like, I don't want to play guitar. Or I don't want to do whatever. And I think it's a missed opportunity to like really kind of pull something out. Like, I picked up my guitar for the first time in probably a week or two.
Hmm.
And I just didn't feel like playing it. Like, I looked at it, like, if I had some spare time, I was just like, I don't want to do that. And then I played
Yeah,
it last night, and I was just like, holy shit. I was just like, this was great.
I've I've been like that for sure because I just finished mixing this record. Like I was like not playing guitar. I was just like mix, mix, mix. Like it
Yeah.
takes mental energy to do that stuff, but I'm glad like I can have my own touch on it. But yeah, no, it definitely makes me like unable to really focus on playing or being creative. But I did sit down yesterday and like try to jam up some ideas on my baby. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I've learned to be a little bit more patient with myself. And what's cool is that since I'm like kind of going away for a bit, I'm gonna get to recharge and get re-inspired.
Yeah.
And then when I sit home, I'll be like, oh, remember that thing I wanted to sort of try to that experience, that emotion? Like, let me try to do it, and I feel like I'll have a better idea on how to do it, or I'll have more experiences that I have taken in, and yeah, I can use that. I just find being out and traveling, and therefore nature in the same token, like being like the most inspiring thing. Like I feel so at home when I'm like I love home and I love New York and I do not mind coming back here ever
Yeah.
after a minute of traveling or whatever and having this be my home base. Like I met so many awesome people here and like my whole family's here and all that shit. But like man, if I don't leave here every now and then, like I need to I need to be on the road. I need to be traveling. I need to be doing something. Like that's why I liked touring so much and that's why I like arranged my life to be able to tour so much. And when when the pandemic's over and everyone doesn't have to worry about coronavirus, who knows how it's going to be. I still definitely want to be touring, whether it's not Secret Gardens all the time or if I'm on the road with someone else filling in or whatever, this and that. I definitely want to still have that aspect of travel to my life because it's not only just like about money and it's also something I find that I'm good at. Like I feel like I operate well in that environment, but I need it to like be good at home and like stay inspired at home almost.
Sure. Yeah. You have to have that home base where you can recharge, and then if you go out for a longer period of time, you're like okay to do that sort of thing. So definitely hope that you get that opportunity, man. Like, it's always good seeing you down here in Jersey. Obviously, we're not too far away from each other, but
Yeah, are
um,
you? You in North Jersey, South Jersey?
Southish Central Jersey, so we're gonna keep
People
it.
argue whether or not Central Jersey exists.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say it exists for this whole bit right now. But the
Okay.
next question, Greg, kind of touched on it a little bit too, because you mentioned Snarky Puppy. But if you were to compile a musical supergroup, who would be in your band?
Shit. Well, oh, this also ties into I want to play a show with this project so badly. That's one of the first things I'm going to do when I'm able to. Even if I just, I want to book like a small venue on Long Island that I love, like AMH or Rev or whatever. But like, I
Yeah,
don't know, if I'm going to be able to do that. But like, I want to have a bunch of friends have a release show, or not even like a release show, just the first show. I
hang
don't
out.
fucking
Yeah.
and like we're all gonna be stoked to be back playing music again. I cannot wait for that day. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get a band together for making these live. And yeah, like my cousin Stefan, who's in Here's to You with me, is like incredible at drums, so I'd love to have him. Vista's touring drummer for a while, Peter. He's fucking great. I love him. Um, but you're talking about like people in the world who I could collaborate with, have be in my super group band or whatever.
Correct. You're right, Greg. Right on the money.
I feel like, oh, do I pick people better than me
You
or
can. I don't see why not. Like, I mean, it's
like
we're
Mario?
taking we're talking about like not their personality, like because they could be whatever they want to be in
Yeah.
person. I'm just talking about like their skills or whatever, like or if they inspired you to continue to
Well,
play or you know.
Mario and Eric from Chan are just insane. They like have attached brains. I don't know how they play. But I feel like just playing around them would make me better by association. Like, just I would soak up their talent. They're like way too good. Um,
So
what
you
my
have
butt?
do they count as one guitarist or are we
I
counting them
yeah,
as two?
they might maybe that's true. Maybe that's how it works.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of really solid bass players, but yeah, I mean, I don't, in terms of bass, like anyone who's like really good, and I don't know. This is a hard one to
I
do.
see you struggling on this one. This one, I think I might have broke you mentally.
Well, that's what interviews are for.
You're right.
But I mean, I've never met like an ideal bass player that I like am starstruck over that I don't already know. Like, I love every like bassist I've really gotten to know, and I feel like lucky enough. So I'm gonna hold off on that. But drums, my buddy Joe, who's in that band Royal Coda, he's fucking,
Ooh.
and me and him have like been sort of jamming on some stuff together. But he's like probably one of the best drummers I've ever known in my life. So playing a show with him one day or having him, I'm jamming with him one day. But he lives in Nashville and I live in New York, so like we obviously haven't been able to
Do
jam on
that.
anything. But
Yeah.
it would be really rad to do one day since we're already sending demos and shit back and forth to each other. Um, yeah, I don't know. Who's like another sick fucking drummer? Andrew Forsman from The Fall of Troy is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So is Eric. The Fall of Troy is like my favorite band. If you asked me like what my favorite band was, I would say it's that band. They were so formative for me. Yeah, they're great. Both of them like insanely talented. So maybe a mishmash of all those guys. It would just be like Shred City and
It
like
would be Shred
Crazy
City.
Heart.
So okay, so if I had to arrange them how I think they would fit, ooh, that's tough. I think I would pick Joe on drums. I pick the combination of Mario and Eric's baby would be in the one guitar slot. I would put you on the other guitar slot, whether you wanted to be rhythm or lead, that's up to you. Bass player. Oh God! Since you didn't pick a bass player, I'm just gonna opt out. But if I had to pick one for semblance sake, I'd probably pick. Oh man, I think I'd have to go with Skylar from Issues. I think he's
Oh, he's
tight.
so good.
He shreds, so I'd say
He,
him.
and he's a freaking rock star, man.
He
He's
is.
like killing it always.
So I'd say that, and then for vocals, we'll go Tom Masaryk. We got to. That I feel like that would be
I love,
too
yeah,
tight not to.
he's rad. There's yeah, like the vocals thing. It's like you could have any mix of different flavors and vocalists. So whew, that's like a whole deep hole you can dive down.
Oh, 100%. That's why I like asking it because I always get different answers, so it's always interesting to me. Um, but another deep dive question, Greg.
I love the
What is one artist that people wouldn't necessarily associate you listening to? It doesn't have to necessarily be a guilty pleasure because I feel like you should never feel guilty about what type of music you listen to. But what's one artist that you feel like, Greg, I don't know if Greg would listen to this type of music, and then you'd be like, nah, fam, I do listen to that type of music.
So everyone, okay, people who don't know me well the answer would be Carly Rae Jepsen, but
Sure.
most people who know me like know I love her so much.
I knew because I remembered that from the last interview we did, and you were like, and I was like, who would you want to collaborate with? And your immediate answer was Carly Rae Jepsen, so I remembered that.
It'd be so fun. Okay,
Yes.
a lot of people don't know how much I like John Mayer.
Ooh, well, classic though.
What'd you say?
He's classic.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to say everyone likes John Mayer, but like at this point, I feel like
I
there's
mean, yeah.
a little something for everyone, and he's really grown into like a really funny guy. And every time I see him talk on the internet, he's hilarious. Yeah, but, I was talking to my friend the other day, and she was like, "You like John Mayer?" Like, and she's like a good friend of mine, and we've hung out like for years, but she didn't know I could listen to John. And I like Continuum was such a formative record for me. I like every track on the fucking record is so good that like I feel like he's the reason why I even sort of dive into anything bluesy sounding or like anything with low bends or like just stuff that makes your
something
face
with feeling. Yeah, you gotta put the Nast face on. I got you.
My brother got me on him. Like, it's got me starting listening to him, so I've been listening to him for a long time. Yeah, I would say people might not expect me to listen to John Mayer as much.
That's a surprising fact.
People know I like the metal stuff. People know I like rock and this and that. And I feel like I make it known that I like pop a lot. So maybe John
interesting. Oh, I mean, I think I would have guessed that because, like I said, I know you play guitar, and I feel like most guitar players, if they don't love John Mayer, they have a lot of respect for what he does. At least I think so. Like, Room Full of Squares is still one of my favorite records of all time for sure. I have it on vinyl, and I play it fairly frequently because, God, that neon riff, every time, it just makes me mad that I'm like, I should learn how to play this.
You totally can.
I feel like you can. It's just drop C and then the rest of his guitars, I think normal. It's a boop, 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 boop. Yeah, you could do it definitely. But I feel like I think I would expect that, but I can imagine that's surprising some people though, for sure.
Yeah, I guess I don't emulate it musically too much, but I really do enjoy what he does because it's usually so tasty, and I'm like just
You're right. Next question, Greg. If you're trapped on a desert island or stuck in a month of quarantine for the next month and there was one record you could bring with you, what would it be?
Fuck. One fucking record?
No. One record. 30 days. 24/7.
Okay, a month isn't the worst time.
Yeah. I feel like people give me a lot of shit for saying that. And I'm like, come on, it's a month, man. I didn't say all time. I didn't say for a year.
Where am I stuck?
That's good.
Where am I stuck? Like, what's the environment?
Where are you stuck? Ooh, that's tough. I guess, I mean, I said desert island, so I feel like an island.
Desert island? Because, like, I wouldn't, if I was stuck at home, I would maybe say Threads by now, because, like, that's just inherently depressing, and I love it so. But,
gotta feed off the depression.
But Threads isn't an island vibe. You can't listen to that.
Okay.
I really like, Shit. I could listen to like Full Choice Manipulator or Grow, the first
Woo! You're right.
on. I could listen to those like all the time. But or Emotion by Carly Rae Jepsen.
You got a couple. I'll give you the pass. That's top 3. I'll give you the pass. That's a good selection, I think.
I'm just simply not going to pick one. I mean, I don't know.
Fair enough.
Let's say Manipulator by Full Troy.
Okay.
Let's say that for now, because it's a very good album. But yeah.
There we go. Obviously, guys, if you've made it this far, I have to ask Greg the seminary question, which is most people, I would assume, haven't checked out Secret Gardens and would give you more reason to go check it out after I ask Greg this question, which would be, what would be one song you would recommend to new listeners, people who have never heard of Secret Gardens? This is their first time seeing you, checking your stuff out. They liked what you had to say within this past hour of recording, and they want more.
We've been doing an hour? That's crazy.
I know.
I love talking about random crap. Well, what I want you to do if you want to go listen to Secret Gardens is, it's nice outside, and if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, it's probably beautiful out. Go outside on a really nice day, put in headphones, and listen to the EP Verão, which is, and listen to it in order, don't put it on shuffle. I would say yeah, I mean, the first track, Breathe In, is like the concrete baseboard for what Secret Gardens is and what it expanded on. Recently, this track I have called Annie is getting super popular. Like, people have been putting it on playlists, and I've gotten like pretty good response on it. So I feel like that's another song that's kind of indicative of what I can do, because it's very pretty sounding, but it's also like kind of tragic sounding.
Fair enough.
It like treads the line, but then like, I don't know, they're some of the tracks like sound like curious and filled with wonder, and then some of them are just kind of darker and a little moodier, I would say.
Sure. Yeah.
I definitely think you should like go on a hike, put in headphones, and listen to it in order. And if you don't like the first track, then that's fine. You can totally not listen to it. Or, but yeah, no, try that first track off Verão.
There we go. Well, and you should just go. I mean, you should just tell Greg what your favorite track is in the comments. I'm sure he'd be very stoked and interested to see which ones you guys are liking from Greg from Secret Gardens. Which we're gonna close it out. Greg, tell them about Secret Gardens, where they can find you at on the social media, and anything coming up in the next couple months.
Yeah. So first things first, I just got some shirts printed, and 100% of the profits are going to Black Lives Matter and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. And I still have a bunch for sale. So if you go to secretgardens.bigcartel.com, you can pick one up, and I ship internationally. I'll ship wherever. I'm donating all the profits from that, and I just got that done like last week. And pick one of those up if you want to support me, but mostly if you want to just support the civil rights and human rights movement that's happening right now. If you want to go listen to any of my music, it's Secret Gardens on Spotify. But if you want to follow me on socials, it's usually / or at Secret and then Gardens without vowels, so GRDNS. So SECRETGRDNS. I have to have a spelling bee just now.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's me, and that's where I'm at right now. But I don't know anything else. I'm definitely going to be releasing some more music this year. Just follow me and stay in touch. And if you really like what you hear, please share it with someone. It makes my day.
There we go. Well, go give my boy Greg a listen. Go check out Secret Gardens. All of the applicable links will be in the description below. Please go give him a follow on social media. Go follow him on Spotify. Go check out the EP, which I am definitely not going to pronounce because I am not Portuguese.
Verão, this summer.
I'm just say summer. The summer EP. Some EP. It's summer for sure.
Don't worry. The next EP name or the next record name won't be in another language that you. Or if it is in another language, you'll be able to pronounce it.
Yeah, just send me the pronunciation, Greg, so I don't look like an idiot on the internet. I already do that enough while I'm on here, but
yeah, I like the fact that I sort of fucked up naming it that because I feel like people don't want to pronounce it. Like they can type it, and how it's typed is very clear.
It's Verão.
Verão.
Like I can't roll my R, so I'm fucked. Can't? Yeah.
You can say Verão or whatever.
I'm not gonna try to. Anyway, go check it out. Links are below. Please go give some love to Greg. I know he's been on the channel before, and it's cool to see him in a different light. In that Secret Gardens is going super well, and I think if you're a fan of post rock, man, you're gonna eat that up. Delicious, delicious. It's really real good.
It's been super fun to chat, and I'll literally come back on whenever and chat about whatever.
100%. You'll come back. We'll have to do round 2, but if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. It helps out with the reach. I know a lot of people say that's like a spiel thing, but honestly, if you guys want my stuff to get out to other people like you, then please go do that. It'd be greatly appreciated. And go, like I said, go check out Greg's stuff, and thanks to Greg for coming on and talking about Secret Gardens.
Thank you, man.